Hello again adventurers, and welcome to another exciting video from Slovakia. In today's vlog we'll visit the waterfall Lucanky and then we'll be hiking through Prosiecka valley. So let's get into the vlog. So the waterfall Lucanky is 30 meters tall and falls down from these travertine rock cascades. This water is mixed from the water from the thermal pools that are nearby, so the waterfall never freezes in the winter. Over here I discovered a secret cave behind the waterfall where you can get in and climb up a little bit higher, and then you get out on the left side of the waterfall. Guys, so we're at the beginning of Prosiecka Dolina or Prosiecka Valley. You can see behind me this cliff. There's actually a loop that's 20 kilometers going to another valley called Prosiecka Valley. But today we don't have that much time, so we're just gonna get up with the Prosiecka, and there should be like a valley with the river, so a little bit more shade. It's really hot today, 30 degrees, middle of summer, and they're doing it in medieval ages already. You can see they're taking woods and shit from here. And it was always animal agriculture. Not much has changed, still a lot of deforestation, still a lot of demand for meat, but hopefully more people go vegan and we'll be seeing more forests around here. So here you can see this spot over here on the right goes to the beginning of Prosiecka Valley, which is 1 hour 20 minutes. We're gonna go this way, and there you can see to Prosiecka Valley is 3 hours, so together it's like at least 4 hours. Just after a few minutes of entering the Prosiecka Valley, we're getting to the most interesting part, which is this deep gorge with the steep cliffs on both sides and the river running through. They built this wooden path alongside the river, which is really great. Costa Rica, you would pay at least $20 to enter here. Slovakia is all for free, that's how strong the hiking culture is here. Also feels much cooler here than all those open fields because the sun rarely goes down here. It's a perfect place for hiking on a hot summer day. Over here the trail crossed to the left side of the river where we have more challenging terrain, but these natural obstacles just make the hike more interesting. Alright guys, so now we just passed this little canyon where you had sides cliffs, but we're still going by the river. And it's really good for the summertime because you have a shade here almost all the time, and you can feel it's much cooler from the river, so it's like a perfect place to go hiking in the summer. Alright, and over here the trail was going through this dried up river, which I believe in a spring is actually flowing through here, especially when the snow melts on the mountains. Guys, so we're just still walking on the path by this dried out river, and you can see it's dried out even in the summer. I think because people are taking more water for themselves, and also it's just climate change is getting hotter and less rain, less frequent rain. So even here in this pretty awesome environment, you can see the impact of the climate change. And also from the past, the top of the hills are deforested, so there's not much water to be held up there. And also you can see the environment is not so good here because there are a lot of flies coming down, which means that there's not enough birds, or the environment is somehow broken, not enough predators, and it just creates this imbalance of insects. So I was talking about the leafy trees that you can see over here, and during the older times when the Valasi from Romania came here, they pretty much cut down everything because the animal agriculture, like sheep farming and cow grazing, was their main source of food. So they deforested the huge areas, and basically the cows are free. But then with the coming of socialism, it was all kind of centralized, and the farm animals were kept in inside in abattoirs. But so that created kind of for animals it was not so good because they're just like in one space all their life, fed grains. But it was definitely better for environment because they didn't require as much space, the controlled feeding. So they created so much more space for planting trees. And during the socialism, they planted this kind of pine trees, and they planted them because they grow the fastest. In like 10 years, you can already have a tree like this. And then they're just like pretty much they had a business for wood cutting here. And the problem with these trees is that they grow fast, but they're not really dense like the leafy trees, and they're not like as native here. So if the strong wind comes, they blows everything. Like we had in 2004 a big calamity in High Tatras when it blew away like half of the forest there. So it's just crazy that they're doing that. So I think they should kind of be replanting more also the leafy trees here, and just stop the animal agriculture altogether because it's still taking a lot of land. So, but that's how you know that these trees are not really native to here, or at least not so many, and it's more natural to have leafy trees like that over here. Hey guys, so we just stopped at this place by the road. You have a bench here and a little bit of view. The sun is still up here, but we have a shade from this tree. So now we're gonna have some baked potatoes and bread. As we're going further into the valley, we got again to the river that started flowing. I guess it just dries out a little bit after. Alright, and over here we got to this crossroad. It says 10 minutes on the left, should be some waterfall, so we're gonna check it out. Alright guys, so I just want to talk a little bit about what we have here in Slovakia. You can see we have amazing cliffs, amazing forests, and people don't really appreciate it here because people don't really travel abroad, and they don't really compare the situation here. And for example, in South America or even Western Europe, where everything is kind of privatized and fenced up. So all these national park and nature reserves here in Slovakia are without any fences. So you can walk freely here, you don't have to pay any entrance, and most importantly, you don't have to get out at some specific time. So for example, in Costa Rica, most of the nature was privatized, fenced up, and we had to get out by 4 o'clock p.m. because the rangers were just out of there. And you had to pay like crazy entrance fee, like 20 euros. And it's just such a restriction of movement. But people here don't really appreciate all these hiking paths. I have never seen in any other country so many hiking paths as here in Slovakia. It's literally really strong hiking culture. Even in Serbia you don't have that. Even Serbia is open, the nature yes, but here you have open nature, plus you have hiking paths. And I think this is gonna be a big driver for tourism in the future because these people are looking for, and you don't have to pay for this. It's just amazing. So if you're a hiker, I think Slovakia is like the best country for hiking, maybe apart from Austria and Switzerland, where you also have national parks and trails for free. But here you have even more animals, bears. You can camp for free anywhere. It's just amazing. So if you're into hiking, come to Slovakia. Right, and here we arrive to this waterfall. It's a dry season. It's still pretty good. Alright, and over here we're entering the last third part of the valley. We're also gonna go through the gorge with the cliffs on both sides, but this time there is no river. Also notice these bones that probably belong to some wild animal that fell down from the cliff. And even though there is no water, there is a bit of adrenaline coming from climbing up this steep ladder. As I went a little bit more around with this side trail, I discovered more remains of this animal that probably fell down here and then also fell all the way down into the bottom of the gorge. Alright guys, it's around 4:30 and it seems like we're getting out of the forest onto some fields and meadows. So you see guys, this is another great thing in Slovakia. You have colored markings, you have times how much it takes there, and things like these are about each half an hour or so. So you see we're 940 meters, it's called Svorot, and on the other side you have more markings. And, you know, some countries this would be gone, people would destroy it, but here it's such a strong hiking culture that you have all this. To Prosiecka Dolina, it's another hour and a half, so it's pretty much the same way as all the way back through this valley, which is insane. And that way is mostly through the pastures exposed to the sun. It's ridiculous. See guys, this is the end of the forest, and from there is all deforested. And now we see on our Maps.me application that there should be another path going up to the ridgeline and then on the right, and then should connect all the way back around. But once we got up there and tried to go through the woods, it was a really overgrown path, not used at all. So I guess it's just used for hunters during the autumn time. We could definitely make it around, but it would take us too much time and it would not be enjoyable at all. Alright, and over here I decided to fly drone as we had some more time just at the end of the valley. This valley really looks magnificent with all these steep cliffs and foresty hills. Bringing drone video on a hikes is sometimes really good idea, especially if you're hiking through the valley, because you would never be able to get such a great views as I'm getting right now. Flying with a drone through these insanely high cliffs felt like I was flying with some paraglide, except I didn't have any fear of falling. So guys, I think I was flying the drone from up here. Alright, and here we are back at the beginning of the valley, and I decided to go for a quick dip in this river, which temperature was still really cold, maybe around 8 degrees or less, despite outdoor temperatures being almost 30 degrees. It took me a few tries in and out of the water until I was able to dip in completely. And here I'm going for it one more time, trying to go under the waterfall, and I also decided to climb up. Alright, here we are back at the parking, and we are looking back at these mountains of Prosiecka Valley, how forested they are, because it's protected area since 1967, otherwise it will be all deforested. I think if we decide to keep going with that bushy ridgeline, you will still be descending somewhere down there. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy watching another amazing adventure from our summer getaway in Slovakia. Stay tuned for more videos, and as always, stay healthy and stay adventurous!